Sawadee from another beautiful morning in Isaan. I wanted to cover another section of the garden that follows on from the video I posted, I think 3 days ago. And this section is central to the tropical gardens, which you can see this entryway, and it actually involves this particular scene. When we bought the block of land next to ours, another half rye, in December 2017, I wanted to create a tropical garden very similar to the Jim Thompson House and Gardens in Bangkok. And from the existing living area, which is this, I wanted the new gardens to flow from this living area and still have some sort of almost like another living area as a central point to the garden. There are a number of zones I created, and this was the one that sort of replicated the living area zone that was actually attached to our house, which I'm showing you now. So from the photo you can see that this entranceway to the new land was completely blank. There was nothing there. We put a tractor through it. There are a few mature trees around the edge, but the centre part of it was completely blank. And what I wanted to achieve was, rather than have this entranceway just sort of disappear into the garden, I wanted to have an end point. And so what I did was build a 6-metre wall and then had this path. I always wanted a path to lead down to that, to give a point of reference from the existing living areas. And it has worked out beautifully. So this provides a centre point to the rest of the garden, and all the paths, there are lots of paths that flow through the garden that you have to wander down to see the whole thing. They all, pretty well all of them sort of come back to this central point. So we've got this covered area which I put in last year to replace a mango that fell down in a storm, and provided shade to shade-loving plants underneath. So with the loss of the mango, I built this covered area, and everything's thriving again. The wheel we bought, it's an old wheel we bought in Chiang Mai, and you can sort of see the paths that flow off from this central corridor, with the wall at the end. So another path heading off there. Lots of little features in this area. Beautifully shady and cool in the heat. Just exactly what you want in a tropical environment. More paths. These handmade bricks are just brilliant. They're a chore to keep clean from mould in the wet season, but I wouldn't replace them. They add so much character. Another path winding off that way. It all leads down. This is a 6x6 pergola covered by a flame vine, an orange flowering vine, which is now providing superb shade here, and makes it a lovely area to sit in the hot season or the cool season like now. Although funnily, certainly first thing in the morning you go searching sun, not shade, first thing in the morning when it's well under 20 degrees here at the moment. And then once again, paths. I wanted this avenue leading down to a water pot in the far distance. The shrubs on either side of this avenue will continue to grow, and it'll eventually be a covered avenue of greenery, once again looking for shade. You want shade, not sunshine, in Thailand, which is the opposite to what tourists think. But to have sunshine for a couple of weeks when you're on holiday is one thing. To live with it when it's over 40 degrees is something totally different. So one of my favourite views is I don't care. It's just a stunning result, if I say so myself. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Gun, for making it possible. Yeah, having the wall here, the locals thought I was crazy. They thought I was building a house, and when I only got up to building one wall, they must have thought, "Oh, poor Farang, he's run out of money." And it looked really odd to start with. I'll put a picture up of what it looked like just standing on its own, but it's ended up brilliant. It's everything I wanted it to be, and really adds to the garden. And then once again another path leading off into the distance, and another water pot at the end. So yeah, this is this sort of central zone covered, and I'll continue to post videos from time to time on about, I think there are another three zones to cover in the garden. This is looking back to the house. You can see how well it integrates into this aspect of the tropical gardens. Cheers, all the best, see ya.